Hey guys, welcome back to Music Talk with John. And today we're going to talk about the upcoming releases for Record Store Days Black Friday that will be coming up in a few months here. It will actually be November 25th is when it's going to happen. There's just so you know, my local record store where I go, Kingfish Records in Clearwater, they will be hosting it. So definitely check them out. I'll put a description in the link to check those guys out. They're on Facebook and they have a website, I believe, but I mostly see them on Facebook. But I think there is a website. Anyway, the Black Friday event coming up. There's a few things to know before I get into the albums of how actually it works. There's 3 different types of releases that happen. And I just want to kind of share that with you real quick before I got into it. So the first type of release is called Record Store Day Exclusive. And what that is the album is released to the independent record store, and that's it. It doesn't come out. There's a certain number of copies, and then that's it. When it's sold out, it's done. Now, I have noticed sometimes, every once in a while, you'll see it again, maybe because of popularity, but the difference is like on Record Store Day for that release, there was like something special about it, a colored variant on the album or something that came with it, maybe an extra album, who knows, a different type. And then when they re-release it again, sometimes it's just the album on black vinyl and nothing real special about it. So that's the only difference. But for the most part, those exclusives are supposed to come out only on Record Store Day, and then that's it, they're gone. Then you have a Record Store Day first, and that's where it's still, again, released to the independent record store first, and then later on there's expected to be that album released again. But again, that could be a different color variant, could be something different about it than it was like a special release for Record Store Day, and when they redid it, it's kind of black vinyl again and nothing special about it. So if you don't care about that stuff, then it doesn't matter. And then there's I just realized this one, I didn't even notice this one before, but it's called a small run or regional title. So a small run, if the release is a small run, then it's under 1,000 copies. If it's a regional title, then it is it's only released in a certain area, not to all the record stores. So that's the difference with that. So anyway, just want to let you know that, and there's actually one of those in here that I'll be letting you, I'll be sharing with you. That's a regional kind of thing. So the first one I want to share with you is Beck, and It's All in Your Mind. There's going to be 1,500 copies of this only. This is a Record Store Day exclusive, 20th anniversary of Sea Change. The only twist here is it's not on vinyl, it's not on CD, it's not on cassette. It's a 3-inch record. So Record Store Day, what they do is they sell these little record players. They're like little mini. Sorry, I keep looking over there. I don't know why I keep looking over here today. They release these little mini record players. So this is an album that actually fits on there. It's a 3-inch record. So if you're into that, some people have been collecting those. It's another gimmick that Record Store Day does, and people buy it. So if you're into it, then you have like your little record player next to your big record player, and you have all your little mini albums in there. So it's kind of cool, but I haven't really gotten into that. So the next one I have here is Bowie, David Bowie. This is a Record Store Day exclusive, and it's the Next Day Extra. There's going to be 11,850 copies of this. So the Next Day was an album that was released in 2013, and I recognize the album cover. It's the one where it's just, I think, Bowie in black and white, and he's doing like some weird deal here, but there's a square over him or somewhere here, big white square with the name of the album in there. So that's that album. I just played it today and I liked it, so I'm actually thinking about this album here. This is an EP from the Next Day, so it's called the Next Day Extra, and it contains outtakes and remixes for that album. So if you're into that album, this is something you'd be interested in getting. I'm pretty sure. So, all right, next we have some comedy. Cheech and Chong. This is a album, I don't know if it's an album or a single back then, but this is a 7-inch single. It's a Record Store Day first, and it's Cheech and Chong, Santa Claus, and His Old Lady. And I guess on the other side there's Dave, so I'm not familiar with that. Santa Claus and His Old Lady sounds familiar. I might have known it when I was younger. This is the first time it's been released since the 70s, and there's going to be 3,000 copies of that, so comedy fans might be looking for that. Next we have David Bowie and Bing Crosby, that team up that they did for the Christmas song. It was Peace on Earth and Little Drummer Boy. This is a Record Store Day exclusive. It's a 12-inch record, but there's only 2 songs on it, one on each side. And it's showy because it has a candy cane swirl on the album, so I'm assuming as it swirls around, you see the candy cane. So that's what's going to be released on that. So like I said, 2 songs. It's a 12-inch single is what they're calling it. Then we have one here that I'm definitely interested in. This is The Cure and Wish from '92. This is where The Cure came onto my radar. They're a little too strange for me when I was younger, but when It's Friday I'm in Love, or whatever the real name of it is, came out, I was like, oh, good lyrics, catchy, I like it. This is the 30th anniversary of that. There's going to be 11,150 copies. I don't know if I said it before, but it's a Record Store Day exclusive. So this is a double picture disc, which I kind of wish it wasn't. I'm not big into picture discs, but hopefully the sound quality's there. I'm not sure who's putting this together, how it was pressed, but I'm definitely interested in the album. This is remastered by Robert Smith and Miles Scholl, I think the guy's name is. So anyway, you check that out if you're a Cure fan. Next, we have one that I'm definitely interested in. This is The Doors, Paris Blues. This is a Record Store Day exclusive. There's 10,000 copies of this, and the album is cool. I'll pop it here. This artwork by Robbie Krieger, and the guitars for The Doors. And it's a cool album cover, how he did it and put it together. This is kind of neat. This is all blues recordings. There's studio and live recordings on this thing, but it's all based in the blues for The Doors. And I always liked Roadhouse blues and some of their more bluesy stuff, so I think I'm going to really like this one. And let's see, what else do we have here? So, and there's a song called Paris Blues, and it has never been released before, and that's going to be on there. So if you're a Doors fan, you might want to keep an eye out for that one. All right, next we have Fleetwood Mac. This is a Record Store Day exclusive, 9,000 copies of it. This is called the Alternate Collection, and it's recordings from 1975 to 1987. And these have been previously released, so if the title sounds familiar to you, it probably is, because they've been released before on Black Fridays individually. So now they took all those releases, put them together in a little box set, and made them color vinyl. I don't know if they were colored vinyl individually or not, but now they're putting it all together for you. If you missed it and you like it, there you go. I don't know much about it. I don't know what the alternate collection is. There wasn't much information on there from what I remember, so I'm not really sure what songs are on there. So you might want to check that out if you're a Fleetwood Mac fan, though. Next one is another one I'm interested in. I have a copy of this over here. It's a little rough, so I'd like to get a nice clean copy of it, so I'll definitely be looking at this one. It's the Four Tops' second album. Came out in 1965. There's going to be 3,000 copies. And this is a Record Store Day first, so looks like it'll be released later. Doesn't seem like there's anything, actually, I'm sorry, this is a Record Store Day exclusive, the Four Tops. So, yeah, I might want to jump on that. Didn't seem like they did anything real fancy with it, just kind of maybe remastered it and put it back out and made it available again. And I think it hasn't been made available or reissued in many years, so if you're a Four Tops fan and that Motown sound, you might want to check that out. Then we have another one here that I'm interested in, and I meant to call a friend of mine, and you know who you are right here. It's Jimi Hendrix, Burning Desire. I meant to call you today to find out about this, because I think it's like an official bootleg or something. It seems like it has been approved by the family or something to be released, because it's really hard to get any Hendrix stuff out there, especially for an event like this, if the family hasn't agreed to it. So this is a 2 LP set, 5,000 copies. It's a Record Store Day first, so we should see other copies out there later. And it's recordings from 1969 to 1970 for Hendrix. So this one being a Record Store Day first, it's going to be on translucent orange and red vinyl. And it looks like it matches the cover of the album, so it looks like it ties in pretty nicely. So I'm assuming if it's released again after Record Store Day, you won't have the pretty orange and red. You'll just have the basic black, I'm assuming. So anyway, that's Jimi Hendrix. And yeah, definitely leave some comments down there if you know anything about this album, because what I've heard, it's been released before. Next we have Etta James, but not Etta James as I've ever heard her before. This is from 1976, and this is Etta is Better Than Ever is the name of the album. And there's 2,500 copies of it. It's a Record Store Day exclusive. And there's I wrote down Funky Cuts. I don't know why I wrote down Funky Cuts, but it's a funky album. It's definitely more soulful and funk, more horns and more of a little disco funk sound to it than I'm used to her early recordings. I have her first 4 or 5 albums. Not as much of a standard and bluesy as those. It's more funky. So it took me a minute to get into it, but her voice sounds good. It's strong, and it hasn't been released in a while. So if you're into Etta James, you might want to check that one out. Next, we have another one that's interesting. It's Janice Joplin and Jorma. I'm not even going to try to pronounce her last name. I'm not going to even embarrass myself. But it's Janice Joplin and Jorma. The legendary typewriter tape from June 25th, 1964. It's a record day first release, 3,500 copies. And from what I was reading, it's just these two. I don't know if both of them have guitars or what, but Janice is there with her guitar, and it's more of a folksy feel. And I think I'd be interested in that, to hear her in that atmosphere without a band, just raw, her voice and with a guitar. So definitely going to check that one out. Then we have the Monkees. More of the Monkees. I had this one when I was a kid. It came out in 1967. I know it was a big album for them. This is a record store day first. There's 2,000 copies, and it's a mono version. And this is going to celebrate the 55th anniversary of the album. So if you're into the Monkees, you might want to check that one out. Then we have Keith Richards, Main Offender. This is the one that's a limited run. So this one, I'm assuming it's the limited run because of the fact, I don't know if it's regional, but it's a limited run definitely because it's 600 copies only. Now this isn't vinyl, this isn't CD, this is a cassette. This is a double cassette on record store day. I don't get that. I agree with many people that have made some of these videos already, that why are you releasing cassettes and CDs on record store day? It's record store day. You know, it's kind of like the whole thing with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Why is Madonna in there? I don't get it. So anyway, if you're into this album, from what I understand, this is Keith Richards' Main Offender. There was a box set on this one, so obviously it was popular enough to put a box set out on that one, from what I've read. And so this is a double cassette. And so what I'm assuming is the first cassette is Main Offender, and then the second cassette is Wino's Live London 1992. So if you're into Keith Richards and that album, and you're a collector, completist, or whatever, you're probably going to want that one. So anyway, thank you for watching. Leave me some comments. There are more selections out there. These are just ones that popped up and interested me. If you just go to recordstoreday.com right there. You got the Black Friday right there with the date. So again, it's November 25th. I definitely want to promote my local record store here. It's Kingfish Records. I'll leave a link in the description to those guys. They're going to be hosting one there. And definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave me those comments. Let me know if there's ones that you found on the website that you're interested in, that maybe you want to try to convince me into, or I don't know about. And or if you're interested in any of the ones that I talked about. So anyway, until next time, you guys enjoy your music, and you take care out there. Bye.